Thom Hartmann, our good buddy Thom Hartmann, interviewed former President Jimmy Carter last week and asked him about the current state of politics in the United States. Jimmy Carter was very direct in addressing the state of American politics and made it clear, as we've said before, as a Princeton study has said before, that we don't really have a democracy in the United States anymore. We essentially have an oligarchy. Here is Jimmy Carter, a former president, calling out broadly, systemically, the status quo of what we have in the United States. Take a look.
Political principles, for example, our Supreme Court has now said, unlimited money in politics. It seems a violation of principles of democracy. In the minute or so we have left, your thoughts on that?
It violates the essence of what made America a great country in its political system. Now it's just an oligarchy with unlimited political bribery being the essence of getting the nominations for president or the elected president. And the same thing applies to governors and U.S. senators and Congress members. So now we've just seen a complete subversion of our political system as a payoff to major contributors who want and expect and sometimes get favors for themselves after the election's over.
Yeah.
This is just huge. A former president indicting the broad reality of our modern political system. The entire system has become a sort of mockery of democracy. We're going to pretend it's a democracy. People can go and vote. If Republicans don't manage to pass voter suppression laws that make it hard for them to do that, you can donate your money, right? You can donate your money, your $25 to your candidate. Doesn't matter, because now we've raised the limits above the $123,000. That was already a limit that very few donors were even reaching. You can donate whatever you want now. Money is now considered speech. If you can't donate whatever you want to political candidates, your free speech rights are somehow being suppressed. And we have that Princeton study that I mentioned, which says if you look at the legislative desires of like the average person, right? So you listening to me now, you have some goals that you would like to see your elected officials do. And then rich people, the very rich, have goals that they would like to see passed legislatively. And then lobbyists have their set of goals. And then big corporations have their set of goals. The goals, the desires of the big corporations, the very rich, and the lobbyists are statistically much more likely to eventually become the law than the legislative desires of you, the average middle-class voter. Now, you could make an argument that lobbyists and corporations and rich people are just much better at knowing what would be good in terms of legislative ideals. And I would challenge you to find any evidence that suggests that, and you will not be able to. So we know from that Princeton study and from others, from the fact that 84% of the time, the candidate who raises more money wins. We know that we don't really have a democracy here. We have an oligarchy. Thom Hartmann has been pointing it out. Princeton has been pointing it out. And now a former president, Jimmy Carter, believe what you will about Jimmy Carter and his legislative accomplishments as president. He is right. Prove to me that Jimmy Carter is wrong if you can. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/dpakman. Producer Lewis is also on Twitter, twitter.com/LewisMotomedy.